everybody. Ew. So today I'm going to try and show you guys how I made Cruise's, my dog's, sweater. So I did record a little bit of this video earlier, but I wasn't getting things quite right, and I felt like I needed to get the measurements first before I really started anything. So I have the measurements in front of me. I'm going to go over these first, so it's kind of clear what you're going to be cutting out or whatever, and then we can get into directions, and then we'll get into me actually showing you how I make it. So, these are the measurements that I have. Cruise's stomach or waist is 34 inches. You can see I had to draw over that because I got his measurements wrong, but his stomach is 34 inches, and his sweater, this is his sweater, I'll show you that in a minute, up and down, length, or whatever it's called, up and down it is 24 inches, and across with the strings like this attached is 36 inches. So the strings each are 8 inches, and without the strings the sweater would be 20 inches. So what I think you should do first is measure around the biggest part of your dog or cat, animal's stomach area, and then that is how long the sweater should be, but add a few inches on there just in case. And then up and down, which I would say is right here, the little shoulder things to the bottom. And then I didn't write this down, but the measurement from this area, it swoops down, this area to the bottom is 19 inches. So those are Cruise's measurements. I'm gonna put my phone back up and try to explain everything. So since Cruise's stomach is 34 inches, there's 2 extra inches on the whole sweater, which looks like this. So from this end of the string to this end is 36 inches. From the top of these things to the bottom is 24 inches, and then right here to the bottom is 19 inches. And this is gonna look weird, but the way that the dog sweater goes on them is like this, and then this goes around their neck and stuff. So if that gives you a better if you can see it better like that, so I'm not 100% sure how I would explain how to downsize or upsize the up and down part. I'd say measure from the back of your pet's neck to probably where their back legs start. Measure back of neck to the place where the back of their legs start. So yeah, if that makes sense. I'm going to insert a picture right now of the things that you're going to need for this project, and then I'll just get into how we're going to make this. Okay, so this is my fabric. You're going to need to fold it over in half and put right sides together. So this is obviously, we'll call this the ugly side of the fabric, and then in there is the pretty side. So put the pretty sides together, and I have Cruise's sweater laying on top of this. So I'm going to cut out this shape. That's a shape that you need. that shape out of this fabric, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I've cut out the pieces. I'll show you. I cut out four of these little, for the string parts. And I cut out 2 of the main piece. The bottom looks a little weird because it was folded, but I'll just cut that in half. So now what we're going to do, let me think. I'm going to sew. You can hand sew this, but I really recommend using a sewing machine because, just saying, you know. First I'm going to sew these little things together. So you'll take 2 of them, sew down these parts, flip it inside out, and then sew across this little part. So I'm going to do that, and I will try to set up my camera so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so as you saw, I hope, I looked at it and the quality was a little weird because my sewing machine light, but now I have these 2 little things. At this point, you would want to put the Velcro or button on, but I lost all my hand sewing needles, so I can't do that right now, but that's what you would do. You would sew the Velcro or buttons on this. You see, it doesn't matter if this is messy because it's going to go under the sweater. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take the big piece and we're going to sew all the way around it except for leave a little spot at like the bottom part so that we can flip it inside out, and then or you leave like a space wherever it's convenient for you, and then you'll sew it closed. So yeah, I think I'm gonna leave my opening where my string will go because that'll be easier for me to sew closed and it won't look as messy because I don't have hand sewing needles, but I will try to show you how I'm sewing that. So now you'll see that. Okay, so I sewed all the way around this, so now it looks like this. And I left my opening right here at the side, right here, so that I could flip it out, and now it's flipped out. So now we are going to take these and try to sew them. We're gonna sew them to the sides. So let's see. If you lay this out, by the way, you should probably do what I did and sew around so that there's an opening on the side, because then it'll be easier to close that when you sew on your strings, and it'll be easier to measure where you want the strings to go, because then you can make it even. And if you're like me, you're lazy and don't really measure things. So I'm going to measure where I want these strings to go, and then I will show you me sewing them on. Okay, so now that you've sewn the little strings on, now if you haven't sewn on the Velcro or the button yet onto these little strings, you can do that now. Unless you did that earlier, then you don't have to. Hold on. On Cruz's sweater that I made before, the one that I'm using as a reference, it has this thing, and I don't like that, so I didn't put it on this one. But if you do like that and you want it on there, you can DM me on my Instagram, which is in the description, and I will gladly show you how to make that and sew that on. I just didn't really think it was necessary for this video because I wasn't going to put it on mine, and I didn't, you know, I didn't want to. Anyways, so now you're literally done. That is it. Done. You have a dog sweater or a cat sweater or a fucking bird sweater if you want. And you put it on them. And Cruz hates his. He doesn't hate it, but he doesn't love it. But now you have an animal sweater. You're welcome. I know this wasn't that good of a video and I didn't give directions very well, but I tried my best. And if you do need help or need clarifying, again, my Instagram is in the description and I will gladly help you with any questions that you have. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed and I will see you next video.